Okay, so before we begin the video, let me first establish what nice guys are so that we all know exactly what we're talking about, right? I will first talk about like the stereotype of a nice guy that every like when I say a nice guy, you get a picture in your head. Let me first establish that person, and then we'll talk about what nice guys actually should be, what nice guys actually are, right? These are the men that women actually want, not the bad boys. These are the men that women actually want. So let me just contrast these two people very first. Let's name this guy, right? This is a stereotypical nice guy. His name is Bablu. Bablu does anything that his crush asks him to do because he's a beta male. Bablu doesn't lift. Bablu is a nerd. Bablu always greets his crush nicely in the morning and brings her flowers. He even once wrote her a poem. Bablu is a loser and we all know it. Bablu texts his girl with so much excitement that she can feel it through the phone. Bablu never gets to fuck because he seems too fucking desperate. This is the reality of nice guys. They try to pretend to be nice, they try to pretend to be helpful. The crush wants her assignment done. Bablu is the first one to show up for help. The crush wants. The crush is getting wet in the rain, so she wants an umbrella. Bablu is the first one to sacrifice. This man is a beta male. He's not going to be a leader, he's not going to be an alpha, and he's not going to get the girl. He just thinks he's going to get some sort of validation from her, and that is even that not true. He just does this in the hopes that maybe she'll keep him around because he's just a little bit helpful. That is it. This is the stereotypical nice guy that you don't want to be. If you do any of these things, if you can relate with any of these things, you are a beta male, and I'm going to help you get out of this trap because this is not who you want to be. You see, the problem with this stereotypical nice guy, Bablu, is that he's not being his real authentic self. He doesn't actually want to do the crush's assignment. He doesn't actually mean all those things, nice things he says about her in front of her. He doesn't mean it when he says that all the other girls are wrong for saying bad things about the crush. He's only saying that so he can be a shoulder to cry on. He's only doing the assignment because he thinks she'll fuck him for it. Or at the very least, give him a little smile. And he'll be satisfied with that. How fucking pathetic. You see, every time he's being nice, he's being kind, he's being helpful, is in the hopes for something in return. Right? Maybe he's not delusional enough to think that she'll fuck him. But still he at least wants a validation. Maybe he's thinking she's gonna shake hands with him, give him a hug. Sometimes for nice guys, for losers, for beta males, that's enough. And that is not where you wanna be, bro. You see, Bablu is not being his authentic self. And as a result, he's never going to get a girl. As a result, there's no actual real end game here. Like there's no actual thing that he's going to get out of this. Let me explain. If big if his crush agrees to fuck him, and that's a big if, like they're never going to get into a relationship, or at least in a happy and healthy one, because as soon as she starts to date him, as soon as she starts to fuck him, he turns bitter. He turns into this salty, evil person that's just not the same nice guy anymore. He doesn't do her assignments anymore. He doesn't say nice things about her. He doesn't bring her flowers. He doesn't write him poems anymore because he was being fake nice guy, because he was not being his authentic self. Or alternatively, the crush goes out with another guy, in which case he keeps being the nice guy in the hopes that he can be someday a shoulder to cry on, and ultimately he can maybe steal another man's girl. How pathetic is that? So this nice guy is actually an evil man that you don't want anything to do with, and women can sense that's why they will never associate, like genuinely they will never associate with this nice guy, because they can see how desperate he is, how pathetic he is. And women are way smarter than you think. At least emotionally, they can tell when someone's being emotionally authentic or not. So don't be this guy. Right, so let me now give you an example of an actual nice guy that is authentically nice and kind and that girls actually want. Now let's call this guy Akshath. I am such a piece of shit. Alright, so let's call him Akshath now. Akshath doesn't really care about being nice to girls that he likes. He doesn't even care about being nice to girls at all. He treats everyone the same way. Guys, girls that he likes, the girl that he doesn't like, everyone the same way. If he doesn't like something that someone says or does, he just lets them know straight away. He doesn't take any disrespect from anyone. He doesn't do anything that he doesn't want to unless he feels like helping the person. He talks to everyone with kindness and he helps out everyone that he can, but never does so by going out of his way. As long as helping is convenient to him, he will do it, otherwise, he won't. Unless he cares about the person too much. This is an authentic, nice guy. And you could call him anything that you want. But Akshat just seems well, seems good. Right, so this is the kind of nice guy that you should be aiming towards being, not Bablu, but actually Akshat. And I know you must have heard being the bad boy that women are often attracted towards. That's just because they have leadership qualities, they are masculine, and they're actually being their authentic self. They don't take bullshit from anyone, they don't do anything that they don't want to. They're not unnecessarily creepy and just touchy and just weird about the with the girls that they actually like. They treat everyone with the same. They treat everybody the same way, and the stereotypical bad guys are often more attractive to women, not because they treat women bad way. That's not it at all. It's just being because they're being authentic, firstly, and second, it's because of their appearance as well. Like the stereotypical nice guy is stereotypically assumed to be a nerd wearing glasses and a shirt with the button up till like the first button. And obviously, you're not gonna be like extremely like a nice guyish this way. But the bad boy vibes are just attracted to women because of the having the internal traits of being nice and kind, being respectful to others, and having all those traits in the inside, and also looking like you're like an alpha male, leather jacket and a bullet kind of a vibe. So that is like a combination that women find attractive. From the outside, looking at you from the outside, you look like a bad boyish, and when they actually talk to you, you're actually nice and kind and generous and respectful. That is the kind of man that you want to be, because because the nerd is completely opposite, right? His internal motives are completely like evil. He wants to fuck the woman. That's why he's being nice, and as long as he gets that, he's gonna completely change and become an asshole completely. This is not what you want to be. Aim at being an Akshat, don't be a bubble. Right, so here are some tools to never break while texting a girl if you don't want to seem like a desperate nice guy nerdish, because you don't have the benefit of your appearance when you're texting a girl, so you don't want to seem desperate or nerdy or just creepy in any way. Basically, you don't want to sound like a bubble. Here are some things that you need to be careful about or keeping in mind while you're texting a girl. Number one, be genuine. Don't say anything that you wouldn't normally say to a girl that maybe you don't like, right? By that I don't mean like you hate them, you're not like physically attracted to them. Don't say anything that you wouldn't say to someone that you are not physically attracted to. Firstly, that. Secondly, don't double text. When you texted something, don't be like overly excited and be all hyped and be just give her like 10-20 text messages. That shows desperation. That lets her know that this boy is like in my grasp. Don't let her know that. Number three is don't be thinking about her right after texting her. That is so shit, because she's gonna know. But you just given her the monopoly. Just text her and just assume she's not gonna reply back and go on with your day. Number four is be fashionably late while replying back. I know this is a bit cliche, it's kind of manipulating, but just text her and forget about it, bro. Go on with your day, make yourself useful. Go run a fucking marathon, do something with your day. Don't be sat on the phone expecting a reply and then thinking about what you're going to reply to that. One text and switch your phone off, fuck it off, and just go on with your day. Work out in the gym, do something. That is the way to go. That is in terms of texting. Now let me talk about what to do when you're physically having a conversation or interacting with a woman. Here are some rules to never break while interacting with a girl in like real life, right? Number one, do not fulfill her wishes right away. If you have been a nice guy to her, she probably already like understands that you like her, and she understands that if she wants something done, she will come to you, and that will make you feel validated because oh she came to me and nobody else. But that's just because she knows that you're desperate enough to do anything that's for her, and that's not a good situation to be in. That's not the right monopoly you're playing. Don't do something for her straight away, or don't do anything for her at all. She has to get an assignment done, let her do it herself, or make some other guy do it. Don't do it yourself. Don't even agree to do it. Just tell her no, you have other stuff to do. That way, she may seem a little bit bitter, but this way, at least you have some sort of respect for yourself, some sort of self respect, where you're not just her bitch. And she will also understand that there are some lines that you cannot cross with you. Number two is don't be a certain way, don't act a certain way just because an asshole on the internet told you to do so. Don't act mysterious and masculine just because it's like cool and it's going to attract the other female sex. If you're authentically just a funny guy, you don't have to be all serious and just be mopey and just be mugging them all fucking time. You don't have to be that. If you're the kind of goofy guy that likes to make jokes all the time, just do that. Just make sure that you're not a fucking clown and you're just not just making fun of yourself to make the girl laugh all the time. If that is your personality, if you make everybody laugh, do that. Be your authentic self. Number three is don't try to touch her, bro. I know this sounds creepy, but and it's creepy that I have to say this, but I see a lot of men. I've talked to a lot of girls who have like told me this thing specifically, that it was so fucking creepy when that guy kept trying to touch me. And I don't mean touch in a bad way. Like even if you try to touch her hand, even if you try to grab her hand, even if you unnecessarily poke her, all of this stuff, they feel uncomfortable, bro. Like women are very sensitive with touch. So if it's not extremely established that they're okay with you respectfully touching them, then don't do it. If it's established that if you're very like on a very close friends kind of a basis, and you hug a lot and she keeps like poking you a lot, she touches your hand a lot of times, then I think it's okay if you also hold her hand, if you also try to touch her hand, if you occasionally put a hand on her back, I think then it's fine. But if you're not comfortable, sometimes guys that like a girl, they get into like they make acquaintance with these girls, and then they try to unnecessarily hold their hands and put a hand on their back, and she will notice it, and she will be extremely uncomfortable, and she will not like you for it. It's extremely creepy for a girl to be touched by a guy that is just she is acquainted with. So just don't do it. And again, I don't mean this like in a bad sexual criminal way. I just mean like even if you're touching her hand, even if you're trying to hold her hand, that's still a little bit creepy. Don't do it if you're not like extremely comfortable with them. That is number three. Number four, and this is the last thing that I can tell you. If she asks you to do something for her, or if she says something which you know she's saying because she wants validation from you. For example, if she has just been outcasted by the girlfriends in the entire classroom, and she comes to you hoping that you will tell her that she's very beautiful and she's very powerful, and you're just being a shoulder to cry on for her. Just imagine that a guy is coming at you with the exact same problem. How would you respond? And then respond that way to her. Obviously, don't be like complete crank and don't be like an asshole to her, but don't treat her a certain way just because you like her, because then you're being inauthentic, and then you're giving her a glimpse of something that potentially you're not going to be. Because imagine that you're extremely nice to her right now, right? Tell her that she's the most beautiful woman in the world, tell her that she's the queen of your life, you tell her all these bullshit things, right? And then she starts dating you, and suddenly she's not the most prettiest woman in the world. Suddenly she's not the queen of your world. Suddenly you don't want to flirt with her. Suddenly you don't find her as beautiful. You just you just manipulated her because you wanted to get the validation in your head that you can date her, or maybe that you actually wanted to date her. But it does no, it's injustice to her and to yourself as a man to be be as unauthentic as you are when you're being a babdu. So don't be that guy, please. That's all I have to say in this video. If you found value in this video, the first link in description is the link to my free ebook. It's a Notion template. It took me a couple of months to write that bitch, and I wrote it as a guide for my younger brother who is transitioning from teenage years into adulthood. I wrote it in the hopes that he would become a high value man by following those advice. And you can do the same thing as well. It is everything that I know that I believe will turn a boy into a high value man. So everything from building an aesthetic physique, dieting, and building discipline, building consistency, learning how to build habits, everything that you need to know. And it's completely free. You don't even have to give me your email. Just go and grab the free copy and just enjoy it. I'm building a community of high value men or men who want to become high value. If you think you're one of them, subscribe to my channel right now so my videos can find you more easily and I can help you on your own self improvement journey. My videos just like this every Monday and Thursday. And I'll see you in the next video.